Picture yourself at a grocery store checkout, card in hand, ready to pay, when you notice the cashier's hands trembling so badly she can hardly scan the items. You ask if she's okay, and the answer she finally whispers shakes everything you thought you knew about courage, compassion, and standing up for what's right. Stay with me until the end, because what happened when one single father refused to stay silent will inspire you. It was a quiet evening in a small town supermarket in Portland, Oregon. Only a few shoppers wandered the aisles, filling their carts slowly. Daniel Carter, a 36-year-old single dad, stood in line with a handful of groceries. His 7-year-old daughter, Emily, clutched a cereal box against her chest as if it were a treasure. When they reached the register, Daniel noticed the cashier, early 20s, her name tag read Sophie. But it wasn't her name that caught his attention. It was the way her hands shook. Not the kind of shiver that comes from cold, but the kind born from fear, nerves, or something much heavier. She tried to scan the milk, fumbling with the buttons. Daniel leaned forward gently. "Hey, are you all right?" he asked. Sophie forced a thin smile, the kind that hides pain. "I'm fine. Just tired." But Daniel knew better. 10 years as a firefighter had taught him how to read fear in people's eyes. This wasn't tiredness. Emily, in her innocent way, tilted her head. "Are you cold? Daddy can give you his jacket." Sophie gave a faint laugh. "No, sweetheart. You're very kind, but I'm okay." Daniel paid for his items but couldn't shake the feeling something was wrong. As he walked toward the exit, he glanced back and saw Sophie leaning against the counter for balance. A moment later, the manager, a heavy-set man in his 40s with a permanent scowl, stepped out of his office and hissed something sharp at her. She straightened instantly. Daniel froze. This wasn't exhaustion. This was fear. When the last customer left, he returned quietly. "I've seen you glance toward your manager's office more than once," he said gently. "If something's wrong, you can tell me." Sophie's lips parted but then closed. "I can't. I shouldn't." Daniel lowered his voice. "I'm a dad. I've been through enough to recognize when someone's in trouble. I won't walk away without making sure you're safe." Her eyes welled up. Finally, in a trembling whisper, she said, "It's him. He harasses me." Daniel's jaw tightened. "Harasses you? How?" Her voice cracked. "He touches me when he walks by, makes disgusting comments, and when I told him to stop, he cut my hours. I need this job. My rent's overdue." Daniel looked at Emily, who was humming happily with her keychain, oblivious to the storm unfolding. He remembered the days after his wife passed. The helplessness, the struggle. He couldn't let Sophie carry this alone. But Sophie shook her head. "Please, don't say anything. It'll only get worse." Daniel didn't argue. Not yet. With Emily there, he held back. Instead, he promised Sophie he'd return. He dropped Emily with his sister, then came back to the store later that evening. When the register was free, he stepped up again. "You told me not to get involved," he said softly, "but I can't pretend I didn't hear you. I know there are ways to stop this, and I'll stand by you while you report him." Her hands trembled. "I'm scared. What if no one believes me?" Daniel leaned in. "Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's doing the right thing even when you're scared. And if no one believes you, then they'll have to answer to me. Men like him thrive because people stay quiet. Not this time." For a long moment, Sophie said nothing. Then, with a shaky breath, she nodded. Together, they went to the break room where Sophie called the HR department. Her voice wavered as she detailed months of harassment, but Daniel's steady presence kept her grounded. HR promised to investigate and assured her she wouldn't have to face the manager until it was resolved. When they left the break room, the manager spotted them. "What's going on?" he demanded. Sophie's knees nearly buckled, but she stood a little taller. "I reported you." His face went pale. You can't." "I already did," she replied, surprising herself. Daniel stepped forward. "If you try intimidating her again, you won't just answer to HR, you'll answer to me." The manager had no words. Outside, Sophie exhaled, shaking. "I can't believe I actually did that." "You did," Daniel said with a reassuring smile. "You're stronger than you know." Days later, Sophie called Daniel with an update. HR had suspended the manager and offered her more hours at a different store. When Daniel hung up, Emily asked, Daddy, is she okay now? Yes, sweetheart, he said, hugging her. Because sometimes the bravest thing we can do is stand up for someone else. And that's the truth. Kindness, even in the smallest form, can change the course of someone's life.